Hi, I'm Larissa Humphrey. I'm a certified tax coach. I know you're wondering what that is. It is a tax professional that specializes in finding all the deductions that you can take to make sure that you get the lowest tax liability possible. That means you pay as little as possible or get the biggest refund you can get, and it's all 100% legal. What I do as a certified tax coach is set up different programs to lower your tax liability as low as possible to the absolute minimum. And there are so many different things you can do, so many strategies that we can set up for you. In fact, in the IRS tax code, there are well over 200 strategies that can be used to lower your tax liability to the absolute minimum. So what you need is called a tax plan. Now, a tax plan is a systemized set of programs that all work together to minimize your taxes. There are so many different ways that we could do that, such as having your business pay rent to you, or leasing your equipment to your business, or paying your children, paying your spouse, as put them on the payroll so they can be salaried employees of your business. Many strategies, and they vary depending on what is going on in your life. So each person's tax plan is customized and personalized to their specific situation. Now, let me show you a example of a tax plan. This physician had a tax liability of almost $100,000, and what we did is set up about 12 different programs for him, and we ended up cutting his taxes by $92,256. But what you really need to notice here is that we eliminated 98% of his income. He also received over $43,000 in tax-free money. This is money that he did not have to pay taxes on. So, and it goes in his pocket, but no taxes are paid on it. So can you see the beauty of having a tax plan? And it works for you every year from the time you set it up until you leave us here on this earth. So you need a tax plan. What I want to talk about are 3 of the most common types of mistakes that I see business owners make. I had one client who made $500,000, but he was paying $200,000 in taxes every year. That's because he did not have a tax plan, and he didn't even realize he was paying that much money. When he realized it was when his friend asked him if he wanted to invest in his business venture, and it was only $10,000. So it puzzled him how he could be making $500,000 and not have $10,000 to invest in a business venture. So what we did is set up, I think, about 8 different programs for him, and the main thrust of it was to get that $200,000 back from the government for him. So he was very pleased. So I find that a lot of business owners are really broke. They just don't realize what they're doing. They're paying a lot of money to the government, and we find a way to combat that. The second common problem I see is that most businesses are not structured to achieve the maximum tax savings. So I don't know if your business is set up as a sole proprietorship or a partnership, LLC, corporation, but each of those entities have different rules. So in order to make sure you can take the maximum deductions, you have to be aware of the rules and how they impact your life and your business. So once I had one client who was set up as a sole proprietorship, which, by the way, is the worst business entity. And just because you are set up that way, the IRS looks at your return a little closer, so you don't want to be a sole proprietor. But anyway, he was set up that way, and every year he was paying between $30,000 and $50,000 in federal taxes. So now, at one point, he was 74 years old, and he still had to keep working because he had given all his retirement money to the government, which, had he changed the way he was set up, he would not have had a tax liability at all. That means that $1.2 million he paid over the 30 years, he wouldn't have had to pay to Uncle Sam. So you can see how important the way you are structured is to, keeping that money in your pocket. Now, the biggest mistake and the most common mistake for business owners is not having a plan at all. Most business owners don't take the time to go and see a tax professional who specializes in tax planning to get a plan set up for them so they won't have to pay taxes. Some people think they have to pay taxes. Well, I don't know if you realize it, but there are billionaires who are paying less than $2,000 in taxes. And if the billionaires are paying less than $2,000, how much should you pay? Well, I guess that's a personal decision. You figure that out. But anyway, you need a plan. Now, the reason the billionaires don't pay all those taxes is because they have a plan, which is a system of programs that are set up to save you tax money. Just listen to what some of my clients have to say about their experiences now that they've already had a tax plan done for them.
I'm definitely much more conscientious about keeping track of expenses. And I think that it's a process that you have to learn, and there's steps in the process that you have to do. And I've never been very good at keeping track of expenses. So that's one step that I've definitely done. When we were looking at the business plan, of course, there were opportunities to start new companies, which were focused on certain healthcare strategies that I have interest in. But in doing that, it's allowed me to sit back and think, okay, how can I improve my business plan? How can I improve my strategy to get my message out to the community? So, although this, you may think of it as, oh, we're just preparing taxes, we're trying to, improve your financial outlook. It also forced me to think about, what steps do I need to take to ensure that my business will thrive and be successful.
Coming from Canada and knowing nobody, I opened up a practice in Stone Mountain. I was introduced to a variety of different accountants, tax services, and then I became very disenchanted from their services. Then I was referred to Abundant Returns Tax Services, and I have never looked back. Abundant Returns, they follow their model. We keep more money in your pocket. As a result, I was able to keep more money in my pocket. I was able to build a beautiful building. I was able to expand my practice, which is now called Your Smile Family Dentistry in Snellville. I was able to hire an associate.
You need a tax planning expert in order to make sure you're getting the maximum tax savings. Now, most tax preparers do not specialize in tax planning. Most CPAs do not specialize in tax planning. They're great on April 15th with a stack of receipts. They can put in whatever needs to be put in that you did last year. But what we do as tax planners is give you a plan, and it always has to be done in the current year. So that's when we would sit down with you, figure out what are the best ways to help you save money. What are your financial goals? What are you trying to do with your life? Are you trying to send your kids to college? Are you planning for your retirement? And all of these things become tax deductions for you. So while you are achieving your financial goals, you're actually saving money on your taxes in the current year. So make sure you get someone who specializes in tax planning.